We're going to cover the high pressure oil system, particularly the high pressure oil pump, in two different stages. First, we're going to do an overview, then we're going back into the details. So after the oil is cooled and filtered, it enters the high pressure oil pump reservoir. The reservoir supplies the oil to the high pressure pump. Injector pressure regulator is PCM control to set injector oil pressure. That's going to help us determine fuel delivery. And it's also contained the system's high pressure relief valve, which opens at 3,000 or 4,000 psi, depending if it's an earlier or later version 6.0. There's a lot of plumbing from the pump to the high pressure oil rails at each head, and it finally goes to the top of the injectors for common rail oil distribution. Those are subject to a lot of leaks and problems, and we're going to talk about how to find those later on. But let's get the overview out of the way first. As we leave the oil filter housing, we have a line going back to our reservoir. And here's our overall view. The reservoir is located nearer to the front. This is a high-pressure oil pump. It's gear-driven off the cam. We'll show you more about that later. It has a discharge port in the back where it sends out high pressure, and we're going to talk about that. Here's the pump's drive gear. It's driven by the cam. And then we go through the high-pressure oil branches to each of the tubes. As you can see, there's a lot of plumbing here where there's a possibility for leaks. These standpipes crack and break and have subject to leaks at times. And we have a check valve. Once we get the oil into the high pressure common rail, it's going to stay there because we don't want the oil draining out when the engine's turned off. Then there's the high pressure common rail. This is an early version. We'll show you the later version later on. We got a lot to talk about with this common rail high pressure oil. And we have the individual injectors. The pressure is going to go to the injectors and pressurize the injectors. We're going to control it electronically like we went through previously. So here is our high pressure oil pump. We're going to start through the details now and cover all the detailed explanation of what's going on with a high pressure oil pump, how we regulate it, how we measure it, and some of the problems we got to look at.